So this is the new Insta360 ONE RS. As you can see here, this new camera from Insta360 looks only slightly different from the ONE R. In this review of the new RS, I'm going to tell you 20 things you should definitely know about this camera. So let's get started. The ONE RS is an evolution of the Insta360 ONE R. Aside from a slightly different surface, it's almost indistinguishable from the ONE R. Without the frame, the RS is comparable in size to a Gopro Hero 10. It is a bit lighter though. Personally, I would prefer a smaller design for an action camera. I also complained about that with the Hero 10. And DJI has shown in this context what is possible even with a modular design. If you've never used an Insta360 ONE R, the great strength of this camera is exactly this modular system. It has a main module, the core, to which you can attach different lenses. There's a wide-angle lens for typical action shots, a 360 lens, and there's also a lens with a very large 1-inch sensor for the best possible image quality. Compared to the ONE R, the new ONE RS features 3 important improvements. A new core, which is the module that contains the processor, display and microphones. An all-new 4K boost lens, which is the new lens for use as a typical action camera, and a new improved 1445 mAh battery. The fact that the camera has hardly changed externally has a decisive advantage. The modules, that is, the camera modules with the different lenses of the ONE R, can also be used in combination with the new RS. This is mainly important for me because you can use the excellent 1-inch module with the Leica lens of the ONE R also together with the new camera. This lens offers probably the best image quality in any action camera to date. Before we take a closer look at the new 4K boost lens, a few words about the new core. The new core features a new much better processor and allows for better in-camera image stabilization. The display is still a bit small. It is significantly smaller than that of the Hero 10 and also slightly smaller than that of the Action 2. This is of course a disadvantage. Alright, let's now take a closer look at the new 4K boost lens. The first thing you should know about this new camera module is that it features a completely new image sensor. It's a 1/2-inch sensor with 48 megapixels. For comparison, the Hero 10 has a slightly smaller 1x2.3-inch sensor that can only take photos at 23 megapixels. The new sensor of the ONE RS is therefore only slightly larger than that of the Hero 10, but it has significantly more megapixels. It is really interesting that Insta360 has implemented such a high-resolution sensor here. The aperture with 2.4 is also minimally larger than that of the Hero 10, so the slightly larger aperture and sensor should result in slight advantages in low light. By the way, a detailed comparison to the Hero 10 will follow soon. As always, it's not enough to just look at the specs, of course. So let's take a closer look at a few shots. In normal video mode, the boost lens allows for a maximum resolution of 4K. And the ONE RS does produce a nice image in 4K. All the shots in this video were taken with the vivid color profile, which produces nice and saturated colors. Skin tones also look good, as you can see in this vlogging test. Here you can also see a direct comparison with the Gopro Hero 10. Compared to the Hero 10, the ONE RS shot looks a bit brighter, it has a bit less contrast but is more saturated. This is also because the GoPro produces a more desaturated look in its default color profile natural. The GoPro's field of view is a bit wider. The field of view of both cameras is set to wide. However, both cameras also have a wider field of view. Ultra-wide, wide, narrow, action view and linear are available as field of view. The cool thing about Insta360 cameras is that you can also change the field of view in the software afterwards. However, this is only the case if you only stabilize the image in the software on the PC and not directly in the camera. For an action camera, slow motion recordings are of course extremely important. In 4K, the RS allows you to shoot at up to 60 frames per second. In this respect, it cannot compete with the 4K 120 of the Hero 10 or the Action 2. In 2.7K, it's possible to shoot at up to 100 frames per second, and in 1080 it's possible to shoot at up to 200 frames per second. As you can see, the slow motion footage looks quite good. However, the lack of the option to shoot in 4K 120 is a clear disadvantage compared to the competition. The new 4K boost module has an interesting feature if you like to shoot cinematic footage like I do. You can shoot at 6K in a widescreen mode. If you use these shots with other normal shots, you'll find black bars at the top and bottom, since the image, as the name implies, has a widescreen format. Personally, I like this mode. It allows for very nice cinematic and detailed shots. However, you should know that the widescreen format only allows frame rates of 24 or 25 frames per second. 30 frames per second are not available. For me, this is not a problem, as I create all my video projects in 25 frames per second. But if you prefer the smoother 30 frames per second, then of course this is a disadvantage. Also, the Flowstate in-camera stabilization does not work in this mode. That means you have to stabilize the footage afterwards with Insta360 software. In addition to the widescreen mode, the new 4K boost lens offers another special video mode, Active HDR. As I'm sure you know, it's not easy for these small cameras with their small sensors to capture footage that has very bright and very dark areas in the same frame. Especially very bright areas burn out quickly and details get lost. The Active HDR mode is supposed to improve the image quality of such shots. Details in the highlights are better protected. Active HDR was specifically designed for shots with a lot of movement, but it is not suitable for low light shots. As you can see here, it works quite well. The dynamic range is visibly better than in normal video mode. However, you should also know that this mode only supports frame rates of up to 30 frames per second. Therefore, no slow motion shots are possible in Active HDR. A new feature of the RS that the Hero 10 doesn't have is instant zoom. You can use it to digitally zoom in while shooting. This is especially interesting if you don't want to edit a shot but want to share it immediately. Personally, I try to avoid zooming in digitally in general, as doing so naturally leads to a decrease in image quality. But it could be that this feature is interesting for you personally. The new RS has another crucial feature. The new core allows for in-camera stabilization as mentioned. So this is not only done afterwards via software like originally on the Insta360 ONE R, but directly in the camera. Here you can see a few shots. Overall, the stabilization works very well, and here you can see a shot comparison with the Gopro Hero 10. As you can see, both shots look similarly shaky. However, this test is also very difficult because the camera is mounted on a handlebar mount and vibrates a lot. As I said, a detailed comparison with the Hero 10 will follow soon. As mentioned earlier, the new 4K boost module enables you to take photos at 48 megapixels, and the photos look quite good in comparison, even though I would not necessarily say that the many megapixels would lead to noticeably more details when cropping in. However, the many megapixels cause that taking a photo takes some time. One thing I don't like about the new 4K boost module is that the lens cover cannot be removed and thus cannot be replaced autonomously. You have to assume that an action camera will fall down or get hit from time to time. In such a case, you cannot repair the camera independently. The DJI Action 2 has the same problem, but what has turned out well on the other hand is the new frame. A frame may be cumbersome and make the camera bigger, but it has the advantage of providing extra protection of course. And the new frame is clearly better designed than the old one, especially because you can now slide the camera in from the side. This is an advantage, especially in combination with the 1-inch module. With the old frame, you always had to remove the lens cover of the 1-inch module to be able to remove the frame. This is no longer the case. The new core module includes new microphones that should result in improved audio quality. Here you can hear a short audio comparison with the Insta360 ONE R. In fact, the average audio quality was rather always a weakness of the ONE R. So what do you say? Can you hear a decisive difference? What you should know is that the ONE RS is waterproof up to 5 meters. The Gopro Hero 10 and the Action 2 are waterproof up to 10 meters. This difference isn't that crucial for me though, because if you want to dive with one of these cameras, you should get an extra housing anyway. By the way, don't forget to use the frame in the water. Without the frame, the camera is not waterproof. Especially because of the modular design, you should always clean the camera well after using it in salt water. But of course, this is also true for all other technical devices. Let's move on to my favorite feature of this camera. The ability to attach a 360 module as well. Because this combination of action camera and 360 camera is the key unique selling point of the Insta360 ONE RS. The 360 module is the same of that was sold with the ONE R. There have been no changes here. Only the 360 module allows you to take shots like this one. The cool thing is that you can reframe the shot afterwards. Of course, you have to deal with the corresponding software. The Insta360 editing program is actually very easy to use. The editing software with its many features and effects is one of the strengths of Insta360's products. The 360 shots are taken in 5.7K. However, due to the necessary processing, the shots lose an important part of their resolution. The result is then footage with a significantly lower resolution. Another ingenious feature is that the selfie stick is automatically removed from the shot. Of course, you should be aware that this is only the case for 360 shots. The invisible selfie stick feature is therefore only available in combination with the 360 module. And if you should buy such a camera, then I definitely recommend this selfie stick. It has a very high quality finish and is one of the best selfie sticks or poles I've ever used. I would recommend this selfie stick for any action camera. It is very long when extended but very short when retracted. It can therefore be stowed away very well. You can find link to it in the video description. Of course, this also applies to the camera and other accessories. By the way, the accessories like this motorcycle or bike mount are of very high quality overall. The 360 module has an additional interesting feature. In the so-called horizon leveling mode, the horizon is always kept straight, no matter how hard and in which direction you move. Depending on the shooting situation, this can be quite an interesting feature. Well, what is my final opinion of this new little camera? I think that the new camera from Insta360 turned out quite well. I especially like the ability to connect a 360 module and a very good 1-inch module. However, you have to put up with a very small display and have fewer options when it comes to slow motion shots. The camera is also a bit bulkier than the competition, especially in combination with the frame. But if you are interested in 360 shots, the RS could be an interesting alternative to a typical action camera. As mentioned, you can find links to current offers in the video description. We'll find out exactly how big the difference is in image quality and stabilization compared to the Hero 10 in my next video. Give me a like as feedback if the video was interesting for you, and see you next time.